Jonathan Majors had become very hot in Hollywood, especially with his portrayal as Kang the Conqueror.
Exciting. My name is Jonathan Majors. I'm in the new Netflix Western The Harder They Fall alongside Idris Elba.
And it had come out that he allegedly hurt his ex-partner. Now, around the time all of this was coming out, before there was any evidence, Disney and Marvel had already made plans to drop him. That's why I find this headline kind of hilarious, because before there's any evidence whatsoever, unless someone on the inside knew something that was going on, it just has to be alleged that someone did something before Marvel and Disney are like, well, no, cut the cord, whether they're found innocent or not. And there's no doubt that the Kang actor is actually a really talented individual. But people, we all had our doubts because Hollywood tends to be very trigger happy when it comes to stuff like this. It's kind of annoying, and now it's at the point where I'm not even expecting any of these long-term in-universe projects to go anywhere, and I'm honestly really thankful that we got the Loki ending that we got. Everything ended exactly on point, so if we never see anything from Marvel after that, I will be like, this was a good run. We got Loki, we're straight. So I'm not really going to be going into the whole trial thing with Jonathan Majors because I already told you guys at the beginning of the video my initial thoughts on the matter. Whether he's found guilty or not, you know that as soon as something like this crops up, even if the person is innocent, it's going to hurt their career. And in turn, it's going to hurt Marvel and Disney. But I don't know why everyone's pretending like this is a main cog in the wheel when it comes to the injuries that Disney has caused themselves to sustain. As great an actor as Jonathan Majors is, I don't think it's enough to come anywhere close to saving Marvel and Disney's career. I find the video of him hauling ass to get away from his ex as a hilariously poetic parallel to what's going on in his life with his career, trying to get away from the allegations and the whole situation at hand, because there was no chance whatsoever. Even if it came out later that things were changed and it's actually not what they thought it was, his career is already done before it's barely begun. Which leaves everyone with the question of not necessarily what's next for Marvel and Disney, but rather whether or not it's even behooveful to have any lofty expectations for any franchises that Disney or Marvel puts out. People barely care about actors anymore. The actual good actors that have been living upstanding lives are extremely talented and take their roles very seriously, and also the franchises that they represent very seriously. They are overpassed and disregarded, and often railroaded by these writers, displaying an overwhelmingly excessive sense of hubris. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say I'm honestly just done with this. I really don't expect anything, and if I turn out liking something, it's very rare, but when I actually do really like something, I find myself trying to temper my excitement, unless it's something like anime. I mean, look at what happened with Bucky. Even when they have a very great build-up of a character, in situations where you anticipate the continuation and a more extensive storyline and arc for the character, the disappointment just ends up hitting you like a damp cloth to the backside, because you find that it eventually leads to nowhere. So even with all the chatter of Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four, I don't care. All these people do is build up hype for movies that we know are going to be crap anyway. What are we actually being hyped about nowadays? Seriously. Aside from indie movies or fringe shows like that of Scavenger's Reign, feels like everything mainstream can just kick rocks nowadays. So that's just what I think about all of this. I just don't care. Studios have successfully alienated their audiences by vilifying them and insulting them at every turn for watching their movies and shows and leaving their feedback on it. And then when they don't watch their movies or shows and they're vilified for not doing so, we're told to care about and back actors that are in these shows and movies, but yet the studios are the first ones to throw them under the bus even before there's remotely a shred of evidence. In the foreseeable future, particularly for men, navigating the whole entertainment industry is going to become so challenging. Like, many actors are already feeling really apprehensive due to instances where people like friends or their girlfriends or whatever make allegations that almost seem to be baseless, as seen in cases like Johnny Depp's. It's concerning when people readily accept accusations without evidence, and it doesn't only affect the personal lives of those involved, it also jeopardizes projects and investments made by audience and studios. You have these actors that are the face of their franchises respectively, and then something like this happens, like what happened with Johnny Depp, where now no one's going to want to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean if he's not in it. No one wanted to watch House of Cards without Frank Underwood. No one's going to want to watch Deadpool, at least not now, without Ryan Reynolds. And at any point, someone could just come out of the woodwork and say something happened. He bopped me on the head or tripped me with no evidence, and the actor's life is just completely upended, and all the projects that they're tied to just disintegrates, while the audience members are left sitting there like, what the fuck? So then, of course, audience members start walking away because then what is even the point in sticking around given the instability of Hollywood and its many franchises? What is the point on spending your money for subscriptions if every time you turn around shows are dropping like flies and so are their actors' careers? I'm not saying that people who actually commit crimes shouldn't be held accountable. Definitely, they should be. But given the landscape of how arid the desert is for mainstream entertainment, couple that with us having gone to the other extreme of the pendulum of actors having too much power to now people just accusing the actors having too much power. Now it's just a recipe for just saying, because this has happened many times, people just saying that something happened in the expectation that you'll just give them a big handsome settlement, which makes you look more guilty, even though you're innocent. But it's just easier because if it comes out on social media and you don't pay these people accusing you, then it's all about their perception and the public's perception. And sadly, honestly, there is a kind of double standard here. If a woman comes out to a man and says you did something, as a dude, people are automatically just gonna believe her. Your career is already up in flames or you're in jail, which makes the entertainment industry and everything surrounding it even more volatile. So, forgive me if I'm not of the mind to sit here and theorize about what's gonna happen with Marvel now and what villains are they gonna bring forth to replace Kang the Conqueror? Because honestly, I honestly just don't give a shit. Marvel at this point in time is not worth being excited over. Aside from the Loki, especially the season 2 of Loki, there's nothing of any substance worth being excited over. And there's nothing else, in my opinion, that they've shown us that's worth having.